Now that I think about it,
We're
gonna have to put a budget for a new flash screen.
Okay. I think we're ready. Let's start. Okay, please stand for Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Pam.
Mayor Grimminger,
Here.
Alderwoman Zerwig.
Here.
Alderman Stupi.
Here.
Alderman Jokers.
Here.
Alderman Steiger.
Here.
Alderman Oakenfoos. Here. Alderman Ross.
Here.
Alderwoman Broomfield.
Here.
Alderman Skaggs. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Approval agenda.
Motion approved.
Second. Joel. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I guess we'll go right into City Administrator's report.
Okay, we finally received the agreements from the Department of Transportation. They are in your packet and on the agenda for your consideration tonight for the signage that we've been working on for, seems like most of my adult life.
At least a year.
But we're good to go now. So as soon as we get that back to them and they sign off on it, we can put those things up in there right away. I've talked to at our last meeting, we talked about taking over maintenance of the drainage ditch on the behind the Porter Street properties. We have been working on a maintenance agreement. Frank reviewed it and has made revisions or suggested revisions that I made today and sent to the Point Base Corporation, and that will be the model for everybody who backs up to the creek. And I've talked to every property owner except the subway guy, and I've left messages. They have a phone number. They don't have an answering machine, so I'm just going to have to catch them at night or something. They must not be at home during the day, but I'll catch up with them. And everybody says sure, so nobody's got a problem with us doing that. We talked about the contract. I think we're going to go with Big River Communications on the phone service and internet. I had some reservations about the internet based on some information I had received, and I have since kind of checked that out, and it's not a problem. The mayor and I met with representatives of the Corps of Engineers over the creek that comes off Progress Park Drive down to Point Base and into the sinkholes. And as you know, the Athletic Association, I guess I'll call them, the Church Athletic Association, has been desirous of getting some improvements done to slow the water down there. The question was, is this something that requires a Corps of Engineer permit? Because if it does, it's a 6-month wait. So the staff members came down and looked at it, and they basically said that if we can demonstrate the water that goes into the sinkholes doesn't make it to a navigable stream, they'll decline jurisdiction, and then we don't have to get that permit. So Steve put about 40 dye tablets in it Friday, I guess, 400, excuse me. We only got 1.5 inches of rain, which wouldn't, it was calling for rain. I've had the public works staff monitoring the river and the creeks to see if it shows up, and we'll continue to do that as we get more rain. I've also contacted Mississippi Lime. They have a hydrology report that was done years ago, but they're looking for it. And they say that it at least states that the water that goes into the sinkhole goes into the mine. It probably doesn't say that it doesn't go anywhere else. But I think if we can tie our dye experience with this report, then maybe we have a convincing case to them that that water doesn't get into the river or into the creeks. And if so, then that'll expedite the process. We met with we've gotten some indication from the Archdiocese that they're willing to work with us on right-of-way for these projects. And they basically said, you know, instead of us giving you an easement over our property, why don't we just work out something where you own the property and we don't have any liability for it. We're not involved in construction. We don't have any, this is the people from the St. Louis office. The local board hasn't opined yet. So what we've done is we're getting a plat drawn up that shows it, and we'll take it to the parish council and present it and see if they're agreeable to that.
When's that scheduled to happen?
End of the month.
Yeah, I forgot the date. Is it?
Yeah. I think it's around the 27th, 28th, something like that.
Are we going to be exchanging property then, per se?
We
No, we-
don't know the terms. on which
We don't know, and we have to wait to see what they've got to say, because we haven't really presented it, we just,
So, but it's a good thing that we still have that property and we haven't given it away.
What property?
It's their property, isn't it?
Yeah, we don't know anything.
yeah, we don't own
Yeah.
anything.
Okay. On the creek?
The
Right.
Yeah.
ditch.
Yeah, the ditch.
Yeah, right, no, we don't.
That's a ditch.
Sinkhole.
The Market Street project is not unlike other projects where we dig holes in the city. But, and I've had a number of meetings with Mrs. Roth, over whose property we replaced a stormwater drain, which they've been very cooperative. And we've done a few extra things that we didn't know about. I'm not sure why the design professionals didn't know. But I think we've got a good working relationship, and we're going to be able to work through whatever little problems that we have. We expect the gas company to be in town next week to relocate those gas lines, which would then allow us to resume work on the stormwater line on Market Street. We've had a bunch of citizens come in who got their TIF letters, who just wanted an explanation. Everyone who contacted me, I've kind of walked them through the process, and you know, they all kind of came to, you know, well, as long as it's not going to raise my taxes, I'm okay with it. That's kind of the bottom line. And once they understood that, we were okay. So we've been designated on our disadvantaged business enterprise goal for the state, and once they set that, which is 0 in our case, I'm able then to go to the next step of sending in a request for proposals, advertising a request for proposals with engineers. That'll go in tomorrow, sometime towards I'll give them until the third week of March to respond, and I should have something on that for you in April in terms of a report on the choosing an engineer based on qualifications.
Questions?
Yes.
Yeah, can you contact or check with MoDOT going south on 61? Down the end of the city limits. Years ago, somebody hit one of the culverts going across the driveway, and it's straight up and down. Like the other night, that hard rain, that water's covering completely on 61.
Where is it?
Right south of the storage, either the driveway there,
Is it getting
storage. No, it's way up this side.
By the recycling center?
Yeah, it's somewhere right
On that
there.
side of the road?
Going south, you can see it's almost pointing straight up and down.
Okay.
Is that Pickard's?
Now, it was
Yeah, when they closed that garage door, it's right there.
reported to me that a MoDOT crew was out on the highway yesterday at the drainage ditch. You reported it to me. Somebody reported it to me. I don't know why they were there. I mean, I'm hoping they're there to look at doing the work we've been harping on for 2 years anyway. that I know of.
They were throwing riprap into that, I'll
Yeah,
call
they
it the
put
subway.
riprap up there at Subway,
Yeah.
I've seen.
Okay, over the sewer pipe?
I didn't stop looking at the sewer pipe, there's
Okay.
riprap in there.
Yeah, they said they were dumping stuff in there. I didn't know what they were doing. Riprap. And,
This looks like trash.
No.
yeah, I was hoping they put a guardrail up there. That's too much to ask.
Any other questions? Anybody else?
Maybe when you check with him on that pipe, ask him about that double yellow line too again.
I will.
Talked
Well,
about that
the-
with him here a long time ago.
Yeah, I know you didn't think. You know,
Okay.
their answer to all those things is, how many accidents have you had?
Okay, one other report, Steve?
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Board, I'll have a report for the next meeting. Give you guys an update on the Market Street project that we had to relocate a water line. There's a 4-inch stub off of the main line in the road that was in the contractor's way. And since we talked last time, we now, we relocated the water line and lowered it. So it's about a foot under the contractor's grade. So it'll continue past the entrance to South Sixth Street without any holdup.
What'd you say, it's a stub or what? Goes nowhere?
Well, I believe it was an old hydrant stub that was abandoned, left in place, and this was still hot at the time. So they had to be removed and relocated.
You replaced it with a same size, 4-inch, you said? Is that what I heard?
No, it was a 4-inch cast iron line. The line only goes back and feeds 3 houses down South Sixth. So we replaced it with a 2-inch PVC line with new valves and hydrant. All 3 residences back there will be in bed with 1 service line.
And I'd like to comment that I've seen a lot of water line put in the ground over the years, and they really did a good job.
Tell them that.
Well, just keep doing it. But there are some hard fitting valves and fittings, and you know sometimes it gets sloppy, and they just did a good job.
Thanks, Steve.
Steve could have told you this, but wanted me to. Back in July, I submitted a letter on behalf of the city to the EPA to ask for some reductions in reporting requirements due to our consent decree that we have on the sewer side. And the city received a letter on the 8th of this month. We've been successful in getting our reporting reduced from quarterly to twice a year. And our first report, I believe, is due in July, and then every 6 months after that. So we still will report the same amount of actions and stuff to them, but they're starting to appreciate what the city's doing. So back along, something that this is going to free up a little time, make the reports look a little better. But some months, some quarters, depending on the weather, they're kind of thin. Next time they might be real thick. This time, so it's all pretty good. So they appreciate what the city's doing, so it's good progress.
All right, thanks. Any committee reports?
I think Gary pretty well covered the 10 and 798.
Yeah, you did. Okay.
We have a monthly tourism meeting tomorrow. They'll make that announcement. If anybody wants to attend, it's here at City Hall at 9:30 tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. And we'll go into the minutes of the January 24th meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay, and we got the closed session minutes of that same day.
Move approval.
Second.
Shauna got that. Did you get that? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, resolution 2013-13, a resolution of the City of St. Genevieve, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to execute a property management agreement with Action One, a St. Genevieve neighborhood watch group. And I believe Brenda is here to present that, or, no?
Brenda is here.
Oh,
The watch group would like to establish a neighborhood nursery and
I'll read them for the neighborhood and the community on one of the vinyl copies. It's the property between the levee on Bird Street and Stonehouse. Yes, sir.
I know who they are, but I'm not sure everybody knows who the neighborhood watch group is.
Section 1 is a newly established neighborhood watch group in the areas bounded roughly between Jefferson and Mayday and 4th Street and 3rd Street. We are in the process of becoming part of the city, working with police department, Department of Conservation, speaking with hospitals. It's more than just a watch group that's crime, it's a group that wants to become more of a cohesive neighborhood, to bring more of ownership to the neighborhood. With that comes more stability and stability, and that's crime.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any other discussion? Okay. Great, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. Resolution 2013-14, a resolution appointing Kathy Waltz to the St. Genevieve Tourism Tax Commission.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, old business, bill number 3903, second reading.
An ordinance of the City of St. Genevieve, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission.
Move to approve.
Okay. Roll call?
Alderwoman Zerwig.
Yes.
Alderman Stupi.
Yes.
Alderman Jokers.
Yes.
Alderman Steiger.
Yes.
Alderman Okenfuss.
Yes.
Alderman Ross.
Yes.
Alderwoman Broomfield.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no's, 1 absent. Bill number 3903 becomes ordinance 3841.
Okay, thank you. New business, bill number 3904, first reading.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement between the City of St. Genevieve and St. Genevieve County to assist in the funding and cooperation of the St. Genevieve County Recycling Center.
Move to approve.
Any discussion?
Would there be any impact, that the one carrier now is offering pickup for recyclables and,
You know,
do you think there's gonna be any kind of an impact on the
I-
recycling center? Or?
I went and met with them to discuss that. And while they didn't say no impact, they didn't feel that it would change the flow sufficiently to cause an operating problem for it.
Okay.
You met with the county recycling, is who you met with?
What's her name?
Yes.
Pat.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All I can remember is she's Pam's aunt.
We're gonna have a fairly large decision on our hands once our contract to go to a single carrier comes on too. So, we're concerned about the one carrier now offering recycling, but, we're gonna have some options to think about come September.
The letters went out in June, or July, and that's, the 2 years are up in July, so
So sooner.
in August, we should be
Ready to-
putting out a request for proposals from the only 2 remaining domestic haulers in serving the area. And again, I'd like to say, just for the sake of you thinking about it, the options are to either take it over, bill it, put it on the utility bill, or my preference would be to give a franchise to a carrier, but let them handle the billing and customer relations, and we would prescribe the frequency, the size of the trucks, the kinds of things that concern us.
When are we gonna start meeting on that, Mayor?
What do you think?
I mean,
Probably
we're
all
gonna
this
get some input.
probably,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
nay?
probably 2 work sessions.
I think it's gonna be probably more than that. We're gonna get some citizen input as far as how we set it up and.
Also, we can get a hold of I met a gentleman at an MMO conference that would be happy to come make a presentation about it, give us a little insight. He's been through this before many times. So,
Yeah,
Of
okay.
course, he's got something to sell, but it wouldn't hurt to listen to him, you know?
If we start in May, that'd give us 3 months. to-
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the biggest, to me, the biggest question that we're gonna do is, we're gonna make it mandatory for everyone to have dressers.
That's right.
So we're gonna have to have some input on that, I'm sure.
Well, maybe,
If we're gonna make it
yeah.
mandatory.
Okay, I think we got a motion and a second on that, or no? Yes. Okay, no, not roll call, I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, bill number 3905, first reading.
An ordinance of the City of St. Genevieve, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission, wayfinding signing agreement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Does it matter? As far as,
Do we need a second reading?
do you?
It'd be hard for me to suggest there's a sense of urgency.
All right.
Move for a second reading.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right,
Get it out of our way.
Well, you're supposed to have a justification for those
Well, I'll
things.
move for a second reading anyway. Is that gonna die for lack of a second?
I don't know, we'll have to find out.
The sign's even made yet, do it?
Hmm?
The sign's even being made
Well,
yet?
let me say that.
No, I
Let's
haven't,
try.
can't,
Pass out.
It's gonna be a while.
all right, bill number 3906, first reading.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement between the City of St. Genevieve and St. Genevieve County regarding 911 dispatching services for the calendar year 2013.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes, sir.
Do we, Chief Bennett, to come up and give us another update on dispatching services? If you don't mind, give us another update.
Yeah.
We are going into our first full year, we just completed, we're going into our second full year with them. I believe we actually went over initially in March of 11. So 12 completed our first calendar year. So far, aside from a couple of small hiccups, I think everything's going tremendously better than it was before. We've implemented our mobile data terminal program, which included mules access. Both and the main reason was to give our officers some advantage before pulling over a car, but the additional bonus was to pull some of the CAD work away from dispatch, who was already adding an additional agency with the sheriff's department, who actually exceeds St. Francis County in calls for service. In addition to
Sir, yeah, I went to, I guess it was a 911, I think Buck was there, and I think you were brand new pretty much on it as a chief. It's been, I think, 4 years ago? And they asked me at that meeting if I would like to reverse 911, and I gave them my cell phone number, reverse 911, I never have gotten a call.
Reverse 911 is gone away.
There is no such thing.
There is no reverse 911. There is a text transfer service. And also, in addition to that, they've installed three storm warning sirens that we didn't have before. We had the one on the courthouse. So some of the funds that they were using for the reverse 911 have gone towards the installation of the storm warning towers and sirens. And they've actually got additional ones that they're putting in different areas of the county. They're trying to outfit the whole county. And those will run through dispatch. There is a text capture program for anybody that gets text messages. Our city administrator for one. And you can subscribe to that. I know that they have it on their website. We have a link to it on our website, or did at one time, that you can submit your information, your cell phone number, all applicable cell phone and texting rates would apply, but then any inclement weather, anything that they think is important, Amber Alert or anything like that, you would be privy to that information through text message. But the 911, the reverse 911 was a very costly program. I think there was like a 5 cent per call thing. So if you ever did actually do a mass countywide call, it would have been more expensive than it would justify. So that's gone away. They've gone with a much cheaper option, which seems to work pretty well. I get 1 million text casts a week. It seems like. I think I'm on every group that they have for text casters. So I get every meeting here and every meeting there. But it is a really good program. But the first time has gone away.
Thank you, sir.
Did you say that 911 has more calls over here than St. Francis County?
Our county sheriff's department runs more calls for service than the St. Francis County Sheriff's Department.
What's that due to
And
the
I will
interstate or
actually,
what?
Present, in my staff report, I got the breakdown of everybody's calls for service. We're in the top 4 or 5 for municipalities for all of St. Francis County as far as our calls for service. But our sheriff's department's calls for service exceeds the sheriff's department in St. Francis County. And I think it's more based on, not necessarily the interstate, but self-initiated calls. The deputies here are encouraged to be more proactive and reactive. Whereas from my experience, the sheriff's department in St. Francis County is more of a reactive department. They're not really encouraged to be attractive or taking proactive measures as far as enforcement over there. So that's what I would attribute to.
Interesting.
Thanks for turning that water off today.
I don't know what you're talking about.
On 4th Street, there was a hose that was like spraying out,
Oh, okay.
and the officer was behind me, and I told him, I go, "So they're not home and their water is spraying."
Oh.
And I guess he went over there and turned it off.
Oh, good. Glad you can serve.
Any other,
Water bill.
Yes.
Yeah.
And at the end, can you give an update
And
on
it must have busted.
Mr. Pollock, or can you, or not?
King is he's doing a little better. I made it up there a couple days ago. The question was about.
You know, this time of year, your hose should not be connected to your faucet.
Actually, I would like the people that contributed. I know the Senior Club had a fundraiser, and all of the students had one slam for April 13th, which will be at the KC Hall. There will be live music from a phenomenal local band.
Who would that be?
I don't know.
Anybody we know?
Their name, I think it's Broken Home or something like that.
I think they are phenomenal.
That was a cheap plug, by the way. But there's gonna be a tractor show, a car show, and
Yeah, that's a big deal.
silent auctions and other things.
That's a big deal.
The benefit that we had last weekend was, I think, extremely successful. And I've gotten nothing but compliments on the quality of the food that was served there. They were able to raise several $1,000s for the family, and I know they were very, very appreciative. They wanted to express their thanks.
I'm sorry, how much?
As far as his condition.
I heard it was $4,100.
40, with other sales, there was some t-shirt sales and some other things, but yes, it was very successful, and I think it far exceeded even their expectations of what it would bring in. But, he's progressing
just need to keep him in your prayers.
Yes, absolutely. You know, but in your prayers daily and a few times a day. Help.
Okay.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Eric.
Thank
Call for the question.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, bill number 3906, first reading? Seven, I'm sorry.
An ordinance approving the purchase of a 2007 Dodge Ram 3500 two-wheel drive dump truck from Lincoln Chrysler Dodge and Jeep in Lincoln, Illinois, in an amount not to exceed $25,030 for the Water Sewer Department.
Move to approve.
Any discussion?
What was the difference between the 2008 and this one?
The year.
No, I mean, I just don't know why they didn't get it locally. They went,
One's a gas and one's a diesel.
I think that was correct. One was a diesel, that's what they were looking for.
was a diesel.
Okay. Any other? Did answer your question?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Move for second reading.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, second reading of 3907?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Bill number 3907, second reading.
An ordinance approving the purchase of a 2007 Dodge Ram 3500 two-wheel drive dump truck from Lincoln Chrysler Dodge and Jeep, Lincoln, Illinois, in an amount not to exceed $25,030 for the Water Sewer Department.
Move to.
Second.
John did that thing. Okay, roll call?
Alderwoman Broomfield. Alderman Ross.
Yes.
Alderman Okenfuss.
Yes.
Alderman Steiger.
Yes.
Alderman Jokers.
Yes.
Alderman Stupi.
Yes.
Alderwoman Zerwig.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no's, 1 absent. Bill number 3907 now becomes ordinance 3842.
Okay, thank you. Any public comments, anybody? Okay, any other business? Okay, then entertain a motion to adjourn. We don't need closed session or anything, do we?
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn, and then we could address the issue that we ran out of time for on the work
Are we going
session.
into a closed session?
No.
Second adjournment.
Second on the adjournment, all in favor adjourn?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Let's take just a couple minutes.
Here's